Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. We have a special guest, and today we go to Montreal, Canada, to Lydon Fraser. I got to know his mother, but now I have the honor to meet him, and he's going to École Nationale du Cirque. He has to tell us what that means. I'm a circus artist originally from New York, but now I'm in Montreal training in Acro Ladder. Tell us what you do on any given day, and you are just so impressive. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's okay. Any given day, every day is so different here. Some days we have like trampoline classes. Some days we have like handstand classes. Some days it's straight up just creation. But what I did today was I woke up at 7 o'clock and I got to school at 8:30. And then we start with a 2-hour acting/clown class. And then after the clowning, there's a little tiny break. And then we go straight into like weight room. So it was cardio with abs. Today I hit legs, which was good, but you have to be strong in the school or else you kind of like fall apart. And after that, it was straight into the Acro Ladder specialty hour, which was cool because today was the first time I ran my number for my presentation that's going to happen in 3 weeks. Then we had lunch today. And after that, I had my trampoline class. Cool. I was working like double backs and then double front half outs into double backs. And after that, it was like the contortion class. It was a pretty packed day.
For us, the lay people, the listeners, you have to kind of like break it down a little bit and acrobatics and ladder. And so I know you started your circus journey when you were 15, but at 16, you made the big decisions to move away from home to pursue it full time.
Yeah.
How did that all start? So you were always a kid who was moving and dancing and jumping, or?
Yeah, well, there used to be this park right next to my house that had these really tall trees, and I would climb up them every single chance that I got. So that was where it all started, climbing up the trees. And then my mom saw it and she was like, we got to put this kid in gymnastics. It was gymnastics from a pretty young age, and that was going on for a long time. And then I switched over to cheerleading because cheerleading had this, one of my siblings at the time was doing cheerleading. And I was kind of jealous because I was like, whoa, that looks so cool. They're throwing people in the air and they're also doing all these flips. I want to do that. So I do it. And then I end up like outliving my cheer career than they did. So I was there for 3 years longer. And at this time, I went to this summer camp named Camp Lohican, and they had this circus program. I don't know what else to call it. And I spent 10 hours a day there for a whole summer, just training, just doing circus, training flex. This is what I want to do with my life. It's such a great community. It's such a great thing to do.
Wow.
And then I kept going.
I remember your mom said that was his dream and I'm supporting him. And here you are. So how long have you been in Montreal? And tell us like how that school and acrobatics is working.
I started off in 2021, around August was the first time I came here. I entered in the high school program, which is crazy, by the way. There's a high school program. There's a college program, but there's also a high school program. In this high school program, I lived in the dorms. It was with people who were from 12 years old to around 18 years old were living in these dorms. But I came in at 16. It was great. At that time, I had no idea what ladder was. And I had chosen to do trampoline as my specialty because I was trying to do this thing called teeterboard. Little recap on that. Imagine a seesaw that two people are on and they jump like with each other. Yeah, it's crazy. But the trampoline didn't work out too well, so I switched to ladder. And I started doing ladder in February of 2022. And since then, I've been with it. I did it in my last year of high school, which is called Sec 5 here. I graduated with it. Then I auditioned for the college program, and I wasn't accepted into the college program directly. I was accepted into a preparatory year, but they do that with a lot of the balancing specialties. They do that with hand bouncers, with tight wire people. It's because you need to have a little bit more time with one of these specialties under your feet to really progress. So I was there for 1 year, and then I did the audition one more time, and I was accepted into the first year of the college program, which is where I am now.
And the ladder, I've seen you on Instagram, and to the listeners, follow him on Instagram. What is the fascination with the ladder?
Oh.
It's just cool, right?
Yeah, no, it's really cool, but every time you talk to somebody, they always think of it as something different. One of my students, he thinks of it as a way to reach towards something,
Mm.
like wherever you need to reach towards it. I think about it more of like a big sword, something that you can move around with. There are people who think about it as just a way to do handstands on top of it, you know? It's really whatever you want it to be, because there are almost less than like 20 people in the world who really do ladder. There have only been 3 people at my school who have graduated with it, and I only know of one other person who continues to do ladder. And there are people in Nigeria, only 3 people in China, I think, and like 2 guys from Russia, and that's all I know of.
Oh, wow. So it's a very small community who does that.
I wouldn't call it a big community because we don't talk too much, but every now and then they will like one of your posts and you're like, oh, I guess I made it over to Moscow or something. And you're like, wow.
Wow, or
Yeah.
Nigeria, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And when I think of the ladder, it's all about the balance,
Yeah.
right? Isn't it? And how do you train for that? I'm a runner, so running, you put on the shoes and you go, you're in control. But how do you keep in control?
You have to take a deep breath before every time you step on the ladder, because you have to be in control of something that doesn't want to move. You know, it's like the ladder it's made of aluminum, it's made of metal, and I'm not that strong. So I have to kind of work with it, you know? It took a long time. I want to try and relate it to running. You don't start with running the Ironman. You start with running like a lap around your, and then like a 5K and then a 10K. It's the same thing. I remember I started with this little baby ladder, like 3 feet tall, and just learning what it is to have a ladder under me. And now, 4 years later, on the top of the ladder, juggling like 5 rings. It's a big gap, but it took 4 years to get there. Yeah.
And before we recorded, you said it takes time. So now you say it took 4 years.
Yeah. It took 4 years, and if I'm being real with you, it's gonna take another like 10 before I really like understand what is this like crazy awkward specialty that I'm doing. It's not like a tissue. Like I feel like silks or tissues, they're very malleable. They're very beautiful. This is not like that. This is very like sharp corners, very like dangerous, not as elegant, which is a really nice challenge to have, because you really want to try and make it elegant. And you really want to give it this life that you think it deserves and that you think it can have. And you want to like share it to everybody. So that way this like notion of the ladder being this like second best kind of specialty is like out of the way. I want to be the person that really puts the beauty of like the stiffness that it has and the beauty of the capabilities that it has in front of everybody's eyes.
Cannot wait to see you. 10 years seems like a long time.
Yeah.
When I'm listening to you, it took you 4 years to where you are today. And who are your teachers or mentors or coaches for that? When you say it takes another 10 years, are there people who can help you get there?
In the beginning, so André is currently my coach, and André is one of my favorite people. He's this like super Quebecois, like Olympic gymnast who teaches hoop diving. The reason why he's my coach is not because he knows ladder. It's because when I came here in Sec 4, he was my trampoline coach, and there were no coaches for ladder. So they were like, let's just put him with ladder. and he just became my coach. And he's learned so much. There aren't too many people who can really teach it. The only people who can teach it are people who've done it. They're all over the world. They're working, if they're in Montreal, or they're like in their respective countries, which is how it kind of works out.
So would you then travel to, let's say, China, Nigeria to get a ladder coach or mentor?
I'm coming up to a point where there are only a couple things that I would need to learn from other people. And I know how to tell my coach, this is what I need from this training session so that I can get to that level. And again, it's just like step by step by step. There are people there. I saw this one guy doing a handstand on top of the ladder, and the ladder was on fire, and he had like a fire torch with his feet, and he was manipulating it. It's crazy. Yeah. So, but I think he also got there step by step. So I think it's like, yeah, I would hope.
I think this is the key, the step by step. The running is also step by step. But what you do is like take one step, it takes you 4 years. And I think it's me as a coach, it's interesting to listen to you that you say you actually teach your coach what in a way what you want to do, and the coach will help you. So it's like a two-way
Yeah,
collaboration, and you're a team and you're helping each other.
absolutely. I could not be anywhere near where I am right now without his kind of devotion and his help throughout everything. I know that's his role as a coach, but I hope that whenever I try and teach him something, if anybody ever comes in next soon and they learn ladder, I want him to be the guy that they go to. I want him to be like, I know ladder so well. It is such a team effort between me and Andre. I really admire him as well.
And what do you think is so special about him?
He's a quiet man, first of all, but he's very intuitive. He can kind of read your body language. So he's maybe take a little break right now. He's never too like push, push, push. You have to do it, which is good because all of the motivation that I have, it feels so natural. It doesn't feel like I'm forced to do it because he wants me to do it. It feels like he wants to give me the power to do it myself, which is such an empowering feeling from a coach. The word that I would use is his aura is incredible. He's an Olympic gymnast. You see these videos of him doing like double back lays, like sticking the landing, and you see him walking around. He's like 50 or something, and you see him just like stretching all of his splits, going into handstands just for like fun. I would trust that man to teach me anything. He's such a great guy.
You need to have him on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to go back to the École Nationale du Cirque. And first of all, I want to say congratulations. So your school is in French. It's in Montreal. You had to leave the house and you said you had to learn French in order to do everything. Tell us a little bit more on so the gymnastic is one thing, or the acrobatics, but then what other subjects are you studying?
Yeah, so the program, it's mostly circus, but there is some school. It's right now I'm taking intro to or préparation psychologique or psychological preparation, as well as English, which is the English is just a standard essay writing literature class. But the preparation, psychological preparation in that class, it's important because it teaches you a lot of theory about psychology, but the kind of the cherry on the ice cream is that they always give you a way to implement it. You know, there's always a discussion. Well, how would you implement this in your training? And then you try and implement it in your training. And then you write a little journal about it and you handed it. It's a good class.
That's also my philosophy. Like you use psychology in order to perform better. And you see that with many, like tennis players use it, swimmer use it. And I also know I have a friend, a colleague, she is a piano player. And she says, I have a sports psychologist as a coach. So to kind of like, how can you perform well? So what psychological frameworks do you need in order to get to the stage and not be afraid? So take advantage of that class. I would love to have that class too for me.
It's such a good class. We go over, there's always fear in circus. Everybody thinks that we do it like not fear, with no fear. But you talk to everybody and they're like, yeah, that was really scary. Everybody has the same natural human instincts. I'm doing a bunch of flips. There's a possibility I'll land on my neck. and like I pass out or I become paralyzed. It's scary. You push through it, and the class helps you kind of find ways to push through it, which is really helpful.
What are they teaching not to be fearful? It's, in a way, it's a dangerous profession that you're entering. Like you can get paralyzed or break something. And
Well, they teach you more. One of the most dangerous things in circus is doing something and getting scared while doing it. If you're scared after, it's perfect. It's like, oh, you did it, weaken the knees, go take a break, sit down. But if you're scared in the middle of it, you tend to bail. If I'm doing like 2 backflips and I bail after the first and a quarter, like that opening is gonna make me land on like my back or my upper chest, and it's gonna like hurt myself. What the class teaches you is it teaches you in a bunch of different ways. The one that I have found the most helpful is a visualization technique where it's I visualize exactly what I'm gonna do, and then I do it. And then I take notes on was the visualization correct or what can I do better? And then I visualize what I wanted to do with those notes, and then you keep going.
But
It's
visualizing and internalizing and
yeah.
overcoming the fear in a way.
Yeah, there's also a lot of acknowledging all of the emotions that come with doing circus. You go in every day. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're super sad. Sometimes you just like sometimes you want to cry in the middle of your class, or sometimes you want to like really scream loud, but you're like, let's go. It's about like acknowledging those emotions kind of before they happen. I don't know how to say the word.
Share. No,
Like
share
no,
is, oh my God.
regulate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like to regulate your emotions during the day, which is nice. It's a good class. My only like little like a flaw of the class is that it's like a 3-hour class that keeps you in school until like 8:30. So it's like oh, I just want to go home. But I think we all agree with that, and I think we all try and do our best.
And you said it's sitting. So how can you sit still for 3 hours? Or do you get up and you do stuff while
Well,
applying the class?
there are some people in our school who are very academically driven. So they're used to the 3-hour classes, they're used to doing it all. Me personally, I'm not the best at sitting down for so long. Once every like 45 minutes, I'll like get up and I'll go out the back door of the class to like walk around. And it's really nice because your teacher doesn't really mind because she kind of understands. You give a bunch of kids like the ability to do flips every day and you tell them have fun. And then you're like, okay, but now you have to sit down for 3 hours. She understands that I don't think these people are built to sit down. These people are built to jump. And that's kind of the whole vibe of the academic.
Okay, yeah. And what's next?
Well, there's gonna be next year, this summer, probably some performances, but then it's gonna be deck 2, and then it's gonna be deck 3. And deck 3, you spend a whole year making one number. It's called your épreuve synthèse, which is like it's a test basically. But you then film that video of your épreuve and you send it out to a bunch of companies. And while you're in the school, like from now, you start talking to people about like, hey, I hear you know these people, connection building from the get go. And usually you get some jobs based off that. You build up a resume. And then by the time you hit the end of deck 3 or even the middle of deck 3, you have a pretty solid resume, a pretty solid number, which gives you a pretty solid chance.
And you dream?
Yes. Oh my goodness. I dream. There's like one show that I think I watched this one number over and over again sometimes. The show is Corteo by Cirque du Soleil, and the ladder number in it, there's the couple guys that do it, but the guy that really stands out to me is the acrobat from 2006. He's this I want to say Russian, but I don't think it's Russian. I think it's just Eastern European, and he is incredible. I did a whole deep dive on him. He came from traditional circus, which means his stage presence, he takes up the whole stage. His technique is like through the roof. It's really good. When I see that number though, now I'm working kind of most of the tricks that he's doing in that number in the 2006 version. And I'm looking at the ones that are like the show, I'm looking at the new artists that are doing it now. I think that I can do most of their technique pretty solidly. So now I see these numbers and now I'm like, how can I make this number better? So every time I go back, I really like what he did here, but he could do this out of that trick into this trick. And then my mind goes like kaboof. And I just sit there for another 3 hours watching the same video.
Okay. We wish you good luck. And one day we'll see you on the stage on the Cirque du Soleil stage. What do you do when you don't work or when you don't go to school, or is there anything else how do you recharge your batteries?
I like to take visits to the graveyard every now and then. I'm in the city, so it's hard to find a quiet place. Every now and then I go to the graveyard and I think about like how thankful I am for like my functioning body, my working body, and how eventually I will end up like these people no matter what. I better just push as hard as I can, do the best that I can, and stay in like the best mood that I can, because one of these days I'm just gonna be buried somewhere. I might as well have a great time now while I can.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, and good luck, bonne chance, as they say. And we'll see you another time. Thank you. Wow, what are you taking away from this? Soon we'll see him in Cirque du Soleil, traveling around the world. Take It from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday, and also Take It from the Iron Woman. Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels is the book. Download it or get it in your local bookstore. Support artists, support people, and also the podcast. So like us, subscribe where you are listening to this podcast. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
Free audio post-production